Welcome back, everybody. Just stopped to get an Instagram picture. You know, follow me on Instagram on Great Rides. I hope you liked the ride today. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. I am out for a ride. I haven't been on a ride for too many days. It is January 18th, and this is just going to be a low ride. I'm going super slow because a car is in front of me, and I want to be able to enjoy some of these roads, some of these turns without being right up on them. As you can see, we still have snow on the ground. Streets are clear. There's still a little damp. And the temperature, the spyder says it's 39, but when I left the house it said it was 35, so you know, 4 degrees difference. That's not too awful bad. Picking up a little heat from the motor more than likely. And I am on Horns Mill Road, and it's just a great little road that I like to ride. It's super close to the house, but there's a lot of traffic on this road. So I tend to not ride it as often as I could, just because it's fairly busy for a little back road. I can't ride much slower. This Toyota is ridiculously slow. Hey, it's the little pedal on the right. Holy moly. Well, you know, there's snow out, and they're probably scared. I mean, they're doing 35, 40 miles per hour. Woo! We've got some gravel on the road, people working. Just got off work and decided to go out for a ride because we're supposed to get some snow. And the last forecast I saw, you know, it's around 6 inches. The first time it came out, you know, it was supposed to be 22 inches, and then it went from 1 to 20 inches, and you know, I think they got it narrowed down to where we're supposed to pick up 6 inches of snow tomorrow and into Sunday, which is fine. I mean, it's January. So I wanted to get out today just because, you know, I'm not going to be able to get out for the next couple days. The high temperatures Monday. 17 degrees with a low of -4. And that is Fahrenheit. So it's going to be freaking cold. So while it's so cold, and I'm out riding, you know, I think it's a good time to do a little tech talk. And you know, I'm not working on the spyder, so we might as well, while I'm out in this beautiful back road, talk about, you know, if you do ride in cold temperatures, and I say cold temperatures, 20 degrees, 25, 30 degrees, you know, anything below 0, maybe even below 35. You know, number one, make sure you're putting the right oil in your machine. So, you know, number one, make sure in these extreme cold temperatures, if you're riding, that you have the correct weight of oil. You don't want to do any damage to your spyder. These things are not cheap. Number two, you know, maintenance is a big thing. Worked in a shop for many years, and you know, you gotta maintain your vehicle, you gotta maintain your spyder. So just staying up on all of your oil changes and your filter changes, and you know, when you wash your spyder, you know, you do a walk around and you look at things, and you look at the condition of your belt and your tires and your brakes. You know, that way when you're ready to ride, the spyder's ready to ride. And to me, that's common sense, but if you don't know, you don't know. And then number 3, and Sean Smoke talks about this all the time, and it's, you know, do you and should you let your motorcycle, your car, sit outside and just idle for 10-15 minutes and let it come up to temperature, let it warm up, as they used to say. You know, I gotta go out and start the car and let it warm up. So I'm old enough that my first car was definitely carbureted. You had to let that thing warm up or it just would not drive right, and it's because it was carbureted. So that's where we got into letting cars warm up, because you had to let that carburetor warm up or it would stumble and backfire and just not run properly. Well, now everything's fuel injected. Most everything is fuel injected. So you literally, with the Spyder, you go out there, you put your key in, you hit your mode button, you hit the start button, and it'll start right up. So I'm a big believer in not letting it run for 10-15 minutes, just letting it warm up. What happens is, when you first start anything that's cold, carbureted or computer controlled, it runs richer, so it gets more fuel. So as it has more fuel in the cylinder, you can actually wash a cylinder out because it's getting too much fuel. So if you let it sit there and idle, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen, because it's probably very rare that you've washed a cylinder out just letting it sit there and idle, but these things are designed to be ridden and ridden in conditions that are adverse. So what I do is, I walk out to my Spyder. Sometimes I have my helmet on, sometimes I don't, but I don't have all my heated gear on. I start the Spyder, I don't touch the accelerator, I just let it idle, you know, and it's fast idle, and I let it run for, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, hot and or cold, it doesn't matter. You know, if I'm going to work, you know, I'm putting my lunch in the front, I'm putting the laptop, you know, in the side case, and the Spyder's just sitting there running. And then I hop on my Spyder and hammer the throttle all the way down, and off to work I go. No, that's not what I do. So I do believe that, yes, you don't need to sit there and let your vehicle run for 10-15 minutes idling, but I do believe that you don't want to hammer on something. You don't want to ride it hard, drive it hard when things are cold, because that's when things can break. So, you know, when it's cold, when it's warm, you know, if it's summertime and it's 80 degrees out, I'm not gonna, you know, baby it for 5-10 minutes, but I'm gentle on it, and until I can see some temperature coming into the motor. So when it's cold out like this, you know, 35 degrees, this thing runs colder, sometimes by 3 bars. I can be down the highway and only be showing 2 or 3 bars worth of heat, period. So what I do is, you know, I start it up, I let it run for a few minutes. When I leave the yard, I'm super gentle on it. I'm super gentle on it, you know, all the way till I get to the highway. I'll tell you, it's super nice out. I probably should have went the other way, but it is a gorgeous day for a ride, and the snow just makes it absolutely gorgeous. You know, so be gentle, be smart, you know. I'm not going to say if you let it sit there and run for 10 minutes, you're going to do damage to your Spyder and it's not going to work, and, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, use your head. If it's super cold, yeah, start it up and let the fluids get circulating, let the oil get circulated, and then be easy on it until it comes up to temperature. And hopefully this makes sense, what I was trying to get across. You know, when I get off work, my mind is so scattered, it's not even funny, but, you know, just be smart and be gentle, and no, you don't need to let it sit out there and run for 20 minutes. Start it up, let it run for, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then hop on it and just be gentle. And your Spyder, your motorcycle, your car will treat you good for a long time if you do that. So if you have any questions, definitely drop them below. Like I said, you know, I was a tech for 20 some years. No, I've never worked on Can-Am Spyders in a shop, but I've worked on about every car out there. You know, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Hopefully it's not as choppy as it sounds and it makes sense. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you in a couple days.